been on the Twitch page yet, so.
Yeah, I'm loading it up right now. Alright, loading. And there we go, we're live. Okay. Sorry gang, we just had to check to make sure I pushed all the buttons in the correct order. And let me know if my voice is quiet. Dave, Alex, start talking so that we can...
Howdy-ho!
Yes, folks,
Yep.
it actually is Dave. Even though there's an astrological event tonight with the Perseid meteor showers, you've managed to somehow connect to the internet tonight.
Doesn't peak until tomorrow.
That's
Am I
right. That's right.
All right, then we're all good.
Oh, you're being referred to in chat as Brock Lesnar because you only kind of show up when you feel like. And
There's
that's
worse
probably,
comparisons.
Dave, that is probably the closest that you're ever going to get to being compared to Brock. So there you go. It's all right. So yeah, say hi to everybody. What have you what have you been up to? Like, how come you said we've been off for a month? Because all of us have been doing enjoyable summer things, and Alex has been like shipped off to foreign countries and such. And
Yeah,
it's impossible to
exactly.
hurt the
Everybody's
cats.
been taking holidays and away from the computer, or like breaking
Robert's
down
computer
on the
took
highway.
a bath. It went swimming in the ocean or something. I still haven't figured out Lake Michigan or something. I haven't figured out that story yet. But,
Yeah, no shortage of excuses. We're used to it after this many
you
years.
know, Spinal Tap, baby. Spinal Tap.
That's right. Speaking of Spinal Tap, Netflix ordered a new Spinal Tap movie.
What?
I know, right?
What?
But
I
Chris-
am like my jaw is on the floor. When did you hear this?
I heard it on the radio, so their entertainment news could be sorely mistaken. But according to the rumor, Christopher Guest is the only one so far signed on, and I wouldn't imagine they'll do it without the other two guys. But
Good
Yeah,
Lord,
yeah.
sign me up.
I know, right?
Because that movie is. I watched. I read the Princess Bride book. The guy who did the guy who played Wesley wrote a kind of a behind the scenes introspective, and he talked about how there's clues from Spinal Tap in the Princess Bride. As like
What?
visual cues. Yeah, the who was it? Mark Knopfler, I think it was, that did the soundtrack. The guy who did lead singer for Dire Straits did the music for that movie. And he said the only way that he would do it is if the hat that Rob Reiner was wearing in Spinal Tap, you had that Armed Forces or Navy or something hat.
Sure.
That video, that hat had to make an appearance somewhere in the movie, and it's in the opening shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was great. And there's a few other callbacks too that's like sweet.
Oh, that's too hilarious, man.
Oh, okay. He's saying not a new Spinal Tap, but a new film from a Christopher Guest, probably a mockumentary. So there you go.
Nah, there you go. That's where they got it wrong. Oh well, hope's dashed.
Well, as I say, that is a bit, but the mockumentaries are good. The Mighty Wind was okay, but the dog show.
Yeah.
Best what was it? Best in Show? Was that what was called?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god, too funny. Good stuff.
That's pretty awesome.
Anyway, back. Sorry, we ADD. You know, but people who follow us on Twitch, they understand. So yeah, Dave? What have we been up to for the last month?
Well, aside from, the intrepid Cola here getting our programmer a new computer across the border safely to the state,
I'm
we
shocked it made it there, to be honest with you.
I know.
Yeah, he may have had to pay import fees on the way in, but it's pretty smooth delivery. Yeah,
What did you
far
use?
as I know-
Did you use FedEx?
use Canada Post.
Canada Post. All right, rock and roll. Go Mounties.
Yeah, there you go. That's all good. So we've been just trying to gear back up, and so since our programmer's been back in business and Alex is back from his overseas trip, and I don't have any more family I want to visit this summer, or I have more family, I just don't want to visit them, and I think Eric's back and ready to rock, so what we've been doing is we've been looking at the list of stuff we promised to deliver for the 1.0 version of the game way back when, and we've been aiming towards that. Now, we do need some more animations to get some more of the core game functionality going. So while Alex works on that, Robert the programmer has been busting out more and more features, and we're probably going to show you guys some of that stuff tonight. But be forewarned, be very forewarned, that any of the build you guys see on Twitch tonight has not been made public yet and will not survive in its current form when we do update it to Steam, because there is a fair amount of stuff that we still need to tweak and work on. Minor things, just from typos to some art assets that we want to improve and whatnot. But you'll see some cool stuff. People have been requesting things like the ability to save out your option choices so you don't have to reset them every match. So we've got that functioning now. We've even been working on a new feature that everyone's expecting, but we haven't really said we were working on it. But we've got a prototype of that feature that we're likely to show you. Just please do bear in mind as you watch us show you this stuff on Twitch tonight, it probably will change a fair bit before it gets in your hands. We haven't had a pass at it yet with the artist. We just had it delivered this morning from the programmer, so it's still really warm and fresh, and now we want to give our artist a pass at it to polish it up real pretty before we give it to you guys, which I think is fair. I think the artist.
It's a proof of concept for a few features. I'd call it a prototype at this stage of just some of the more advanced stuff. I mean, that's we're having internal discussions about what to even call this thing, because it's our boy Robert just going crazy as he does with functionality and all that stuff, and it's astonishing how much he is churning out. I mean, it is absolutely astonishing to me. I mean, we've been working with him now for just however many months, and it is astounding to me the amount of work that he's able to churn out in a short amount of time. And I want him to sleep more.
Yeah, I don't think the guys slept in at least 48 hours to produce this next update for you. Also, the entire crew has ganged up on him and told him just go the hell to sleep and get some rest, and we'll knock out a pass on this with some art assets and whatnot for him. So yeah, he's been a monster, man. I mean, I think he's only had the computer for what, a week?
We had a question about that in chat. The background is somehow Robert's computer took a bath. I mean, and when I say that, that's not just a figure of speech. Somehow it got immersed in water. I still
somehow.
Yeah, I have no idea the secret background. Like I said, it becomes at a certain point, guys, you just stop asking questions after 12 years of astonishing things happening left and right. So we just didn't, so his computer got wet somehow, and of course, that's how it goes sometimes. And so Alex had himself a spare computer up in Canada, and rather than us trying to go and either try to find him a new workstation or something like that, this is kind of a two birds, one stone kind of a deal, and so he was able to ship him, thanks to the Canadian Mounties or whatever it was, got it across the border and into Robert's hands, and that's why he's been working on stuff over the last few days, because he was pent up, he was ready to rock and roll, as evidence from, I think we talked to you guys about a month ago, was the last chat, and we'd kind of shared with him that the message that he was ready to kick ass all over the place, and he was just waiting for his tools to come back in. So
yeah, exactly. So he took a nice break, didn't do anything, so he was all fresh and ready to rock on. Yeah, a forced break. Which, you know what he needed, man, because I think we almost need to sedate him once a week or something, just so bloody because you'll burn out no matter how much you love doing something, man. You are going to burn the hell out on it, right? So
all right, I'm putting the prototype up on the screen here, positioning it. All right. I'll give everybody the first thing that people are going to look at is what the hell? It's Tyrador fighting Tyrador. That doesn't make any sense. And
yes, it does make sense. It makes sense soon. They're going to find out why it's Tyrador versus Tyrador. But yeah,
Dave, did I just hear you shuffle your hands together I thought I heard that.
You actually did. That's hilarious.
Good Lord! Oh my God!
Actually, I just saw
gentlemen, our fearless leader.
Robert doesn't actually need happy pills, as someone said in the chat. Once you actually hear Robert talk on a Twitch broadcast, hope sometime, he is easily the most caffeinated, happy guy I think I've talked to in a while. If anything, he needs some knockout pills. Right now, character's having a little match, and
Hey, can you hear the game audio over the Twitch podcast?
I can't hear anything. Does Twitch even broadcast audio by default? Alright, so here's our main screen. What you going to? Options?
I'm trying to make sure that because every time I go to that main menu, I get blasted with audio.
Yeah, I'm not hearing any.
Okay, well, no, that's. Do you have the live broadcast up by any chance?
I'm watching a broadcast. I'm watching the Twitch page, and I saw you just choose Grasshopper and Teardor.
Could you hear the in-game audio?
No.
Okay, if that's the case, then I'm not going to worry too much about it. Then I'll
I
back
could
out.
not. That character select went way the hell fast, though.
No, that's because I was getting blared and I was scared of
Okay.
blowing the chat.
Can't hear that. Yes, actually. Guess what? Guess what, Joe Dredd? Oh, he heard the music. Oh, okay. Well, then it might be possible. I'm not getting it. I know why. Because I mute the audio, otherwise I hear the lag.
Hang on. Sorry, guys. Let me see if I can try to mute the signal on that window. Of course, I can't figure out how to do this. Yeah, basically what I was trying to kind of work my way through there is that if it's blasting you guys out, yeah, everybody can hear the in-game audio. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's too bad.
Basically what, if you guys saw the screens there, what we've got, the functionality working is some of the stuff that you guys have been calling for in the Steam forums. And Dave, do you want to kind of walk through some of that stuff? You know the Steam forum conversations better than I do.
I do. Lucky me. One of the things people were requesting in the Steam forums was it was being a real pain in the ass for people. Every time they had a new match or backed out, they had to go and reset all the options the way they wanted it. So one of the most simplest yet happily most useful things added is now from the main menu, when you go into the options, you can set up all your options the way you want them, hit save, it will save your options for you, and should auto-load them every time you start a match or play the game. You should have the options exactly the way you left them.
Yeah, so it's true user preferences. I mean that's like so it works like an actual game now.
Yeah, go figure. Right? What I'd like to do, expand on that in the future and actually let you save out different sets of settings and profiles or whatever. But right now there's not enough options to really worry about it. But
yeah, I was going to try to pull up some of the other stuff that people haven't seen. I'm trying to wear him down enough to where I can slap on the submissions, because that's kind of cool. That's a big.
Yeah, that would be cool. I haven't even seen that in game yet.
It looks great. It really does. The problem is that, like, at least in the first build that I saw, you really had it, and I think people were commenting on this. You really had to tire him out, which makes sense.
Can I give you a hint?
Weak
grapple. Here's the best way to wear him down, because he actually doesn't take any leg damage unless you attack his legs. And
exactly,
the sharpshooter is the only one that actually attacks the guy's legs. So do a weak grapple, and then hit down plus the button, and you will do a nice little chin breaker there, which will lay him right. It'll lay him right at your feet, so you can just tap the submission button and throw on the submission.
Which one is the submission? Okay, there we go. Well, there you go, Dave.
Is it working?
Dude, look at that. And the camera span? That's what I'm talking about. That's a good call with that chin breaker, because I could not, for the life of me, I would have to keep, if I'd get like the slam going or something, I would have to try to walk all the way around to grab his legs. Yeah, let me grab
that is a beautiful sharpshooter animation there, Alex.
Yeah, I was going to say, Alex, you nailed it.
That's funny. It's the Bret Hart style.
Yep.
You can tell we're Canadian.
Exactly right.
Well,
so that's new from what they haven't seen before. Let me hit escape really quick. You can kind of see some of the other things that we've got going on here, where some of the stuff you've seen in the earlier build, where we've got the heads-up display and the ability to turn off the music and the sound effects and all that kind of stuff. But we've also added a much deeper or a smarter AI, where because again, I'm the idiot who needs. Oh, we misspelled aggressive. But we've got different levels now to where you have a basic AI that is just kind of your standard default. You've got the aggressive, which I think is more along the lines of what we kind of shipped early on, where the computer will just like repeatedly kick your ass, at least kick my ass. And then they've got the AI inactive, which I'm going to call the Eric mode, which is the only way that I can win this game. And so that's kind of cool. That was an addition about a week ago, I believe it was.
Yeah, we haven't shown it on Twitch yet, but
we haven't shown it on Twitch yet. But that's kind of cool. I'm trying to get to a point here where I want to win the match, because I want to show them one of the other fun things that we've got cooking on. But again, I don't want to blast everybody's eardrums out.
Yeah. So, warning everybody in advance, yeah, we might show you some stuff. We might have to scroll through quickly just because it's going to make the audio fart out completely. So I apologize. The build we're showing you or trying to show you, not ready for prime time yet, but we wanted to show you some new stuff, so please bear with the noise.
I'll just escape. I'll just quit the match. So yeah, here's your warning. Yeah. We have something with an edit mode, which you guys are going to recognize. You can ignore all the art and spinning ends and all that fun stuff. But we've got ourselves a preliminary creator wrestling workout. It's still not ready for prime time just yet, but you guys are going to hear me talk about things. I'm going to get into some of this quick.
You see it. So what's important when you guys are looking at right now, there's only the art for the two characters, so you're not going to see a lot of variety when you're just going through maybe changes and stuff. Which, by the way, the funniest option ever is Grasshopper's hair with no mask. It looks like Hulk Hogan grew his hair. It's hilarious. And what's important here is that we just wanted to show you that Robert, the programmer, has developed a basic save and load system, which doesn't sound very sexy or exciting. But what's important is that you set it up so that you can edit the character, hit save, and it will automatically show up in the character select screen as editing and load all the changes. So we're just playing with the art assets we have. We're not worried about assigning any moves or animations yet, We just want to make sure that basically we've got the save and load system that needs to be tested really thoroughly to make sure it's bug-free before we add any more options. It's useless to add more art until we know the system's so that's the look I wanted to see.
Is there a base underpants texture in there?
Sorry, Dave, nobody could hear anything that you just said for like the last 2 minutes because the music's too loud. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying everything I can to try to figure out how to mute the audio from the game, but that option, it works fine in the match, but when you're in the main menu, turning off the music it isn't working yet, or at least I haven't figured out how to turn it off yet. So. All
right, well, I'll just give a very brief recap of what I was talking about when we were showing you the CAW there. We aren't going to add any art assets or anything to the creative wrestler yet. What we just basically have is a save and load system that we want to test. What we're testing is that can you go in, change your wrestler's appearance, save it, and have it load properly. When you go back to character select, you scroll through the characters, and at the bottom there will be an option to load your edit. He should load perfectly and look the way you left him. We just got this build delivered to us today, and we haven't had a chance to really play the hell out of it and make sure that we can't break it before we give it to you guys. So we're not going to be adding a whole ton of textures or creative wrestler parts until we know that the save and load of the character system works properly. So it's kind of neat. It's a big feature, and it's one step closer to making the game as mod friendly as possible. But yeah, for now we just wanted to make sure that save load system worked. So far I haven't been able to break it.
Yeah, why don't you describe again what kind of the save load, what you're like, how that actually works, or what theory is behind that? Because I'm a little bit. I don't hit the forums much, but
Well, what we wanted to do is we want to make characters as easy as possible to trade amongst Pro Wrestling X users, right? So we've got a system where right now you just edit the character's appearance. When you hit save, behind the scenes what's going on is we're just saving those choices you make to a nice simple small little data file. We're not actually saving out a character with the model and the textures or anything. We're just saving a little data file that says load this body part and texture onto the character. That way, if that works well and we can get that working iron-proof, it's just leading to a really cool system down the road where you guys can not only save your creative wrestlers, but you could send them to your friends, and when they load them, they'll load the same character. It'll be really cool. Or it'll break and work horribly and...
Well, and even like the Fire Pro system was, you know, the way... I mean, like I said, this is where I think we still have trying to figure out exactly what to do with all this stuff. You know, like Fire Pro, like you go in and say head number 4, body number 2, and all that kind of stuff, and you'd kind of assemble your characters part by part. And I think that's, like, I don't know if that's going to be the eventual direction we go. I think that's what we're still trying to figure out. What's the fastest, easiest, what fans want, and all that kind of stuff. So,
well, the part that's going to be tough, it's going to be easy enough now that this system is working, knock on wood. We're going to be able to add the ability to assign your moves and stuff as more animations come in, and you're going to be able to trade those data files, and with anybody who has Pro Wrestling X, they're going to be able to play whatever character you create and trade with them. The part that's going to be difficult for us to work out, and we haven't even really messed around with this too much yet, is what do you do about those wicked modders who are creating new content and new body parts and textures? How are they going to be able to trade their creations with people easily? You know, that's something we want to work out. But baby steps. The first major step is that we do have a working prototype of a wrestler editor. We've never had that before,
well,
so that's pretty cool.
And kind of, we probably buried the lead a little bit, but dude, I'm playing as Grasshopper.
I know.
I mean, that's the other thing is I think part of the reason why the impetus was to kind of start working on some of this stuff is because those mechanics help. Like, you're still loading characters, so if you're going to do a character select, why not already start doing the basic mechanisms for loading and saving out these characters. So. But yeah, if anybody kind of briefly saw when I was doing the match setup, is we've got the ability in this early prototype, or this new one that Robert just rolled out. We've got the ability to not only select characters so that you can play whoever you want, but you're actually able to play as the edited characters.
I mean, unfortunately, if Eric shows you that, you'll all be deaf again, because you'll have to back out to the menu to choose characters.
Eric will be even more deaf. I'm just now only getting my stuff back.
Could you not turn down your volume by program?
I don't. That's not the way it's doing it. When it runs through the audio broadcast, it captures like the window, and that can't figure out a way to mute the audio. Unless I don't know if I can mute the audio, like if I screw around with my volume.
You screwed around with your mixer? You're not using Windows. You're using a Mac.
No, I'm using Windows. But I don't think it's process like the program is processing the raw data. Like, I don't have a menu for the volume of that particular program.
Well, you know what people are always telling me? You should use Endorphin.
What's Endorphin?
Inside joke. It's an inside joke.
Dave, are you doing more Dave humor? Is this the more witty Dave humor that we can expect in future broadcasts?
No one will get that reference except for the people who've asked me to use Endorphin 100 times. But yeah, it's all good. Well, look at you using Grasshopper.
Dude, I'm loving it. I mean, there's no difference in the character, but the AI is much more balanced now. I can actually play.
Now, if Eric wanted to...
Or do a reversal, and I was like,
I'm still waiting for my nut shot.
If Eric wanted to, he could go to the character select screen and scroll down to edit, and you would see the character that Eric edited when he showed you the character edit. It automatically saves to that slot. We could, in theory, add 500 slots for edits right now, but until we win the lottery and can order 5,000 Creative Wrestler parts, tie Alex to a chair in a basement somewhere and make him do it. It's going to be
that option. That's a good option.
I know.
Can we do that?
I know, right?
It means I don't have to do anything. It's awesome.
It's too bad Alex's day job is kind of awesome right now, so we can't get him away from it.
I
Yeah,
just want you
man,
to let
you
you know
guys
this
are
is
really,
the first brainbuster I've done all day too.
really uphill battle.
Hey, Alex, I had a question from somebody, and I didn't want to answer it until I talked to you, even though I was pretty sure of the answer. When you're in special mode, is the character doing that extra brutal brainbuster that you animated?
So the last I played, and because my internet's been down, I haven't been able to pick up this build, right? But last I played, the super duper brainbuster is the strong grapple, and then the regular brainbuster is hidden into the weak grapple set somewhere. It's assigned to one of those bad boys.
Oh, okay, cool. Someone's asking me in chat to explain the endorphin joke, so I'll try to be quick and painless. But there's a program for animation that uses real-time physics and ragdoll physics called Endorphin, and it's been out.
That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, it's been out like 10 years, and every time I would talk about animation, even back before our prototype days, someone would always comment, and they would never use English. They would always use internet English with the "you should use Endorphin," you know, like over and over. Like it's that easy just to go license a program like that and then have it magically solve all your animation, right? It doesn't quite work that way. So you should use Endorphin at one time was the most comment I would ever get. The second most comment is Hulk Hogan in the game? I don't know why. That was a pretty common question for about 10 years.
Don't want any part of that action going on right now.
I was going to say, I don't get that question anymore, and I don't know why.
Oh, man. The Hulkster. I swear. It's not that I feel bad for him, but it's like, the guy just can't do anything right now.
Oh,
Between the sex tape and the racist comments and all that stuff, it's just like, it's just a bad time to be Hulk Hogan, and he needs to just like go hide in a mountain for like 2 years. You know,
and I don't. I'm not gonna excuse him for any of the words that came out of his mouth, but I think what's really telling is that everybody he's worked with, of all wrestlers of any race, when they're asked this question on camera by TMZ or whatever, you can tell that they think that he's not some like dyed-in-the-wool bigot racist. He was just an idiot, and they all kind of cringe, just kind of going, "Well, that's not the Hogan I know, and I'm sure he just had a bad day or whatever." So I'd like to think it's not that this is an excuse.
That bad day.
I'd like to think that he was just being stupid, and that's not him. But nobody wants to believe that their heroes are assholes. So.
Yeah, it's a tough call. I think he just if I'm his lawyer or PR agent, put away Twitter, and just go hide somewhere for like 2 years and let it all just die down, and just try to do what you can to try to make it right.
I would bet everything on him returning to the WWE in good standing eventually. They haven't written him off for good. I think it was just a corporate PR move. They had to delete him from the company until...
Well, what's killing me is I'm in the middle of the Monday night program with Heenan in the Primetime Wrestling. Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. And they're right at the build-up to WrestleMania 3. If they're not putting up any new episodes, and it's like they've just had the episode, like the last one was the episode after he like tore the shirt and ripped the cross off his chest and all that stuff, and it's like, okay, I want to see the rest of the build-up. Okay, I'm ready, but they haven't put up any new episodes of that thing, and it's like you wonder if the Hulk Hogan thing is the reason why.
Oh, more than likely. More than likely. I follow him on Facebook, and he's so many. Every day he's posting pictures of himself with fans of a certain color to prove that they still like him. So it's it's a little bit pandering.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's insulting
Some of
everybody.
his best friends are black. I mean, it's pretty bad, but.
But man, I couldn't. I was so happy with as soon as WWE gave him the Benoit treatment. You couldn't go online without somebody posting the video of McMahon saying the N-word on Raw or SmackDown. That was
it's crazy.
Good comeback,
and it's just like
what?
They was Vince McMahon can.
He said it on Raw before.
Yeah, he walked by John Cena or something. What did he say? It was pretty innocuous. But
I thought this was backstage because I mean, you look how
it was backstage. Yeah,
you look how the WWE treats African American wrestlers right now. even today, that they group them all together and they only wrestle each other. They don't ever like integrate. Like New Day is now fighting Titus O'Neil and who's the other guy? Primetime. Hey, I just submitted my guy for the first time. I've never done that before. Sweet. Yeah, the Primetime Players, which is they're great, and those two tag teams are like absolutely killing it. But it's just so funny how they won't that's all he knows what to do. And it was the same thing when they brought in the Divas from NXT. It's like they put I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. But so it wouldn't surprise me if Vince has got some stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, who knows, man. Having a good time at Grasshopper here?
Dude, this is fun. I'm actually able to play the game somewhat, and I said the submission mechanisms are great. Now that the chin breaker there, the jawbreaker is a great setup. That took me. Now I see how I can actually do it now.
We've already got metagame.
That's right.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the first. I mean, I try to bug test this stuff as efficiently as I can. So one of the first things I did was like, okay, which move leaves the damn guy lying down feet towards me so I can slap on the sharpshooter,
Yeah, that's exactly, because you're right, because I wasn't able to, because the theory was that you were supposed to kind of damage his legs before doing anything, and you just weren't able to do it.
Yeah.
But Dragon Sleeper coming up. Yeah, I think that's the next one that Alex is working on, I think.
Yep, the next animation.
That's right. Yeah. I'm also working on, because the Dragon Sleeper is kind of a unique move in that it starts from the character sitting as opposed to laying.
Like, so you had to pull them up sitting, eh? Yeah.
So I've started work on that transitions. So I mean, it's not going to be implemented right away because it'd be kind of useless. I think until we get the sitting and then the on all fours. You know what I mean? Those like alternate ground idle states. But
that's something you do to the guy in each of those states, yeah.
Yeah, but what I did do was I made the transition from laying to sitting, so you can pick the guy up, or not, well, sit him up, I guess, and then that'll flow directly into the Dragon Sleeper, and then
I was trying to remember how No Mercy did it. If it was just like the guy's flat on his back and he just came up and just lifted him up into it, or if he did pull him up to a sit. I can't remember.
You could do either one. You could some moves.
Because like the Snapmare kind of wasn't that what? I'm trying to remember that.
Yeah, would put you right there, and there was some moves that would automatically put him there, even if you didn't have your opponent in that position.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a weird. It wasn't a very well defined like gameplay position, really. I mean, it was kind of like.
They didn't do a lot to it. They had the sitting.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Yeah, they had the sitting position, but there was only a handful of moves that you could assign to a seated opponent. But I know what you mean. So are you saying like right now, the action of putting your opponent sitting up is going to be part of the Dragon Sleeper animation until we split that out, or?
Yes. Yeah.
So I get what you're talking about. Awesome.
Yeah. So until we decide to split it out, it's going to be. Well, we'll need Robert to probably put that in there. I'm going to submit them as separate animations, but I'm sure he can just throw them together so that they flow seamlessly and it just behaves as one. But yeah, I think I don't think that move was designed in the old days to open up submission slots. I think it was used more of just more of a creative way to do your lower do your attacks.
Submission, yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes you want to do like a drop kick to the back of the guy's head, right? There was other strikes you could kind of do when you sit a guy up in that position. I think it was more for striking than it was for submissions.
Got a few questions going on in the chat room. Real quick, the next animations or actions that we need to add to the game is we need a running attack, when you're running. Obviously, we're going to need switching to the back grapples and doing a back grapple move. For Kickstarter, I think we only promised one back grapple move just to get the mechanic working. I could be wrong with that though. And we're going to need climbing on the turnbuckle and doing a flying move. Now, we haven't successfully prototyped the flying moves yet, so it might take us some time to figure out how it needs to be animated so it's the most versatile. But really, other than turnbuckle flying moves, the back grapple, a running attack, that's
things like Irish whips.
Yeah, but those are the major things that those are things we have to make sure. They're kind of new to us to figure out how to animate them properly, right? After that, when we do add things like, once you've got a transition from a front to back grapple and that, then that solves some of the positioning questions we might have about properly Irish whipping a guy. And once you Irish whip a guy, of course, we're going to want to do a running attack. But we're not going to do things like apron attacks or slingshot moves or weapons until we've got those first few core mechanics working well. And some things we're going to have to circle back and come back to. Like, for instance, when your opponent is lying face down, we don't have any submissions for that position, and we probably won't do any, because once we've figured out the submission mechanic and we've got one or two, it's time to move on and figure out another mechanic, right? So once we've got like one of every...
what might be faster than animating submissions is do like a knee lift kind of attacking ground move. So like something that isn't like there's a a setup, a loop, a tap, an exit.
Yeah.
All those. If you just do something that's like a wishbone split or whatever, something that it's just a move that has an end.
My favorite ground attack, which was actually in a submission slot because it's a two-player synced animation, opponent lying face down, you would grab him around the belly and do a German release suplex. That's awesome.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly. Like that one is just an animation. It doesn't require, like I said, all those other accompanying animations to sell it. So
while I'm doing it, I'm sorry.
I think we should fill in the face down with a couple moves like that. Yeah.
The other thing too is I'm doing this as I'm executing. I'm doing the mudhole stomp, and I got to tell you, I like the three hit rule. A lot of people were kind of complaining that you could spam the ground attack and just kick the guy like crazy. And what we've done is, I can't remember if Robert did this or if this was built in a No Mercy, but we kind of came up with like a 3 hit rule where you can really only kick him 3 times, but it feels just about right. Like that feels like 3 stomps and he gets up.
Yeah,
that feels right.
Well, what that stemmed from is like, there was a game for Xbox, the original Xbox, called WrestleMania 21. Beautiful game, great team worked on it, but classic case of they didn't get enough time or money to finish it before the publisher made them ship it. And one of the things that got left in the game was if you stomped your opponent, his recovery would reset to 0, the timer, and you could therefore stomp him endlessly and then pin him and win the match. It was a horrible exploit, and we were kind of going that way with our game until we get to properly working with stats and attributes to affect recovery. So I remember reading an article back in the day about the game Street Fighter, where it was a hack at the time, but players didn't notice. Nobody complained, so they kept it in. You could not consecutively do any one thing to your opponent more than 3 times, or he would automatically block or reverse it. So if you wanted to punch him 3 times, you had to punch, do something else, punch, do something else, punch, or else he would auto-block it. And that got me thinking, I don't think I've ever been able to like stomp a downed opponent in an Aki game more than 3 times. So I was like, I wonder if this has become almost like a common hack in fighting games or whatever to prevent spamming, So we did it, and some people like it, some people think it's a cheap fix, and I would agree it is a cheap fix, because we needed a cheap fix until we get to work on our stats and attributes, and we can maybe animate some ground counters or stuff like that.
No, I really like it. I got to tell you, I'm sitting there playing. It feels right to me. But again, that's the focus group of 1. But I really like it. I was just going to say I think it really feels right. Like 3 is like, all right, you got your 3 stomps in. All right, cool. Next.
It keeps the match moving and gives your opponent a chance to attack again, right? But I think what Alex, I want to speak for you, Alex, but I'm sure that you would probably like to get some ground counter animations or the ability to roll out of the way or something, so you can manually stop the ground attacks from happening rather than
this. Nice. Yeah, I think it would be nice. I think for now it serves its purpose, but I think we can come up with something creative that is not so rigid in design.
Yeah, well, I think people are saying right now in the chat room, why not just let him reverse it? Well, we could, but that's another animation to add to Alex's plate, and we just got a few more, arguably more important mechanics to work out.
I feel like reversals should be kind of earned, maybe. I don't know, or in the rare case, as like a rubber band.
Yeah.
Just because you're on the ground doesn't mean necessarily you need a reversal.
Hey guys, I got a great idea. What if we sell people reversals with microtransactions?
Don't tell anybody our business model.
Wouldn't that be the cheapest, dickest move to do in a wrestling game? The game's free, but reversals are 99 cents each.
Well, or dude, like every time you want to do it, it pops up a little. That'll be 25 cents.
Your Steam wallet has been debited.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I beat him, but it cost me $38. Jerk.
No one thinks this is funny but us.
Oh god.
It's all good.
It hasn't hit the chat yet. As soon as those, again, more Dave humor for you there.
No kidding, eh? Somebody is.
This is the first time the three of us have been in here in a while, isn't it?
It has. It's either been.
Dave, do you still have 2 functioning legs?
Yeah, I do. I saw the doctor yesterday, and apparently I'm on the list to get this new knee in September. So, yay me! I know, right?
No more festering wounds. No. What was the Trish Stratus to it? What was that?
What was it?
Cyst
Stratus. Yeah. My favorite part of this whole adventure is my doctor giving me, medication because my knee is like trashed. I can't even put weight on it, right? So she gives me medication. I'm like, oh, so this is all safe and good. Yep. I'll go watch A&E and watch a marathon of intervention featuring my medication in every one. I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's like peering into your future, Dave. It's great. Oh,
hey, you submitted. Awesome. Hey, somebody mentioned that they don't like that you automatically taunt when you enter the special mode. And there was some debate over whether or not other wrestling games auto-taunted
No
if
Mercy
you were
auto-taunted.
Sort
of.
No, it didn't. No.
It changed the taunt. Yeah, if you were in special mode, you would do a different taunt, I think.
Yeah, because definitely that's definitely how it behaved. And if you played Virtual Pro, you wouldn't know you had a special. You'd have to taunt every now and then, and you'd have to look for your taunt to change. What people like, what you might be like confusing the auto taunt is when you have a special, there's a separate like a get up animation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where he slams the mat.
Yeah, you slam the mat on the way up, which is sort of like taunting, I guess, in a way.
Well, but I thought when you hit special, doesn't he does something?
Well,
he like kicks like.
I mean, to trigger it, you have to trigger the special. You have to taunt.
That's right. That's what it is.
But
that's right.
I don't know. Maybe our game, the way it works right now, is you just grab sometimes a special just happens and forces you to taunt. It's
yeah, like I just did. You'll see it here in a second.
But that's pretty important to proc your own taunts, because it's like the exploit we were saying before is, when someone else gets a special, you can just run away as the opponent. But if you save your taunt for a time when your opponent's on the mat or something like that, they're vulnerable somehow, then then you take control again, and it's not so cheesable instantly. So yeah, I mean, we should change the behavior if that's how it's still working.
Yeah.
Are you able to get one?
Yep, I was able to trigger it, and it did. Yeah, you're right. 'Cause you're right. It's so funny. I can't remember who I was talking about this the other day, but it's like you have like these memories of these older games, and if you really don't play them, you're only relying on your memory, and it's so easy to I don't want to call it like plant false memories, but they say that the same thing happens at like crime scenes and stuff where people witness crimes, and then somebody comes back at them and says, oh yeah, this happened, and then you remember that actually happening. But you're right, you don't auto trigger a taunt.
Yeah.
You have to wiggle the stick, and then you get into like flex mode where you flex up or whatever you do it, and then you can able to execute your special.
Yeah. Hey, Alex, are you using Maya right now?
No, I'm using ZBrush.
He's a ZBrush, right?
Yeah, I actually have to run right now. I've stayed a little longer than I should have.
Yeah, no worries, man. Thanks for coming. That was awesome talking to you again.
No, it's cool. Yeah.
So,
right, yeah, I gotta run. Thanks, guys.
All right, man. Have a good one. Later.
Okay.
You bet. Cheers.
Let me see if I can edit the scene here too.
Finally, now we can talk freely.
That's right. No,
Did Alex have a bad audio connection, or is it just me?
I think it was his audio connection. I was hearing some hissing and clicking. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just blow this up real bit. What the hell? Yeah, because I gotta scoot here pretty soon myself. That's getting to be
no worries.
But yeah, let me tell you what. I'll dive back. Everybody, turn their volume down. And I'll walk you guys through some of these things again. We'll narrate after the fact, but for anybody new or anything like that, what we were having trouble muting the volume on the main menu and stuff. So you're going to get a blast of Dave's music here in a second. And
it's not mine anymore. They fired me. It's all good.
Well, dude, I actually like the song, so it doesn't bother me. But it's if you're trying to, and yes, to kind of pre-sell this a little bit. Everything you're seeing is kind of like a prototype that our programmer just kind of delivered us to us this afternoon. There's placeholder art. There's a few typos. There's some functionality in here that is going to get changed and overhauled, but he's got a lot of the basic mechanics working for things like character select, and then even a base kind of a creator wrestler, kind of a prototype there.
Yeah, so okay. Let's do that real quick. Yeah. So yeah, everybody mute your volume. I guess Eric, you'll just take everybody quickly through the edit feature real quick, and then come back and we'll explain what they were looking at.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Sounds good. And then we'll call it a night.
Yep. Dude, I've got. I'm playing against. It looks like who was the character in the Ghostbusters 2? The guy in the painting.
I know who you're talking about.
That's exactly. We're fighting that guy right now. Yeah, because he's got like this giant party in the back, but there's like no other hair.
So everybody, what you're looking at, what you watched Eric do, was a very early prototype just to test the saving and loading of an edited wrestler. We don't have a lot of creative wrestler art right now, so we're just using the art we have for Tyrador and Grasshopper. And as you can see, because they wear a mask, we didn't have to actually give them any hair on top, so the only hair we have is the Hogan long cut in the back, man. So Vigo, yeah,
it's like it's just all coming out of his neck. And yeah, he does. He looks like that guy from Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters. Now, granted, that reference is older than half our audience, but
yeah, I know.
That cracks me up. What it was, Destroyer or whatever.
Yeah, so the big feature that we're trying to roll in here and add is not so much the creative wrestler, because we need much more art for it to be an actual feasible complete feature. But what's important, what you're seeing here, is that you were able to edit the appearance of a wrestler, and when you hit save, he would automatically load in the edit slot in the new character select screen that we never had before either. So we just want to make sure, and we're probably going to let you guys try out this edit feature, not because you're going to be able to make any great creations yet, but because we want to know if you can create, save, load over and over and encounter any bugs with that system.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before they see anything. We got to really polish the hell out of it to make sure that it's working, and so that it makes sense and all that kind of stuff. But we wanted to let everybody kind of see it tonight on Twitch, just so that kind of show you some of the direction, and said again, props to our programmer Robert. He has been taking the bull by the horns with some of this stuff, and especially, like I said, we kind of had a little bit of a pause because Alex was literally off in China. His day job shipped him over there to train people, and so we knew we were going to be struggling with not seeing a lot of art animation progress for a little while, just because, I mean, he's swamped. There's just no way to ask him to do all that kind of stuff. And so we were trying to figure out what are other things that we can start working on that don't require that don't require the heavy art animation assets, and things like character select, the ability to be able to play as Grasshopper was one of those things. And I think kind of spinning off of that, if you're building that mechanism, why not, if we're building, the ability to, load characters and stuff, why not take care of a base, creator wrestler just as a proof of concept? And so there you go.
Exactly, and one of the things that we're working on, we haven't got perfected yet, is the ability to let you guys access the game's textures so you can import and make your own and really start modding. But
Vigo,
we have to be
that was his
Vigo.
name. I'm sorry,
Exactly.
Dave. I had to when I saw it in chat. I had to, yeah.
It's all good, man. But we have to make sure that we give you guys access to the art textures without accidentally breaking or leaving any of the important parts of the game open to be accidentally deleted. So the game engine we're using right now is not terribly friendly with letting us decide what parts of the game are open to the public and what aren't. So we're working it out. But it's our goal to make this game as mod friendly.
Well, I mean,
as fast as possible.
if we're loading, I mean, like I said, for me, the fact that he's got the ability to kind of swap some of this stuff on the fly before you load up a main menu. This, I mean, we can take these same kind of principles in setting up, ring textures so that you can pick a ring. I mean, there are things that we're going to be able to start doing, and that's why we want to put a little bit more polish into this. Is we want to think about how we want people to save characters, load characters, be able to trade them, and all that kind of stuff. And so there's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a while before you guys see a lot of this stuff, or at least some of the more advanced stuff. But as I said, we wanted to give you kind of a sneak peek of what's kind of the bleeding edge prototype. Like I said, a lot of you guys have been in the chat before, and so we were like, all right, you guys are safe. You guys are, it's all good. You're cool about feedback and all that kind of stuff. So we thought we'd give it a whirl. But dude, this is cracking me up. I'm fighting a barefoot wrestler right now, and it looks good. I mean, that's the thing, is I'm sitting here. I've been playing this game for the last half an hour, and it's like I enjoy playing this. This actually is starting to feel like a real wrestling game, and that's come a long way from where we've been. So.
Exactly. The progress we're making now, no disrespect to anyone who's been on the project in the past, but we have not made coding progress like this ever. This is absolutely phenomenal, and believe me, we know we're blessed to be able to have a crew that's rocking like this now. So all those people that waited 12 years, man, it's worth the wait. It's all good.
Yeah, and we're going to get there. I mean, like I said, we're slowly knocking them out. We've got our list to get to 1.0, and I said I think when we start rounding out some of this stuff, it's really going to come together. So I'm excited. Like I said, the future's good. We've had it's been tough on the summer in terms of just everybody's been really busy, and we had just the PC stuff and the Alex going to China and all that kind of stuff. But we said as soon as we get back up to speed again, the guy kind of looks like Batista and Hogan combined. Like if you take Hogan's hair and you put him on Batista, that's kind of what the guy looks like.
He's too funny. Even when we get real hair, we're leaving these styles in. They're too funny.
Shit, you gotta have the other. Well, I mean, there's something that's gonna be the no fun part, is like trying to build all these different pieces and parts, if that's the way we decide to go. So,
well, you know what, people ask, you know, like why isn't the game, you know, I know so many other teams building games faster and more updates and whatnot, but really, man, we're pumping along here with adults who have to pay their bills and work day jobs. So you know, guys like Alex who makes the art, he can't be rushed to do art this good, and he's only got so many hours in the day when he's not working his day job, or, you know, hopefully being a good man to his fiance there, you know. So we're tinkering along, and this is why when you see the budgets of video games, you wonder why they take so much money. I mean, if we wanted to build all the content for a creative wrestler as big as No Mercy, I kid you not, it would probably take about $100,000 worth of art to actually get that done, and to get it done timely would take more than a few artists working full time, right? So right now we're not worried about art so much. We've got an amazing artist in Alex, and so if he's just going to build us the art and animations we need to figure out these game mechanics one at a time, it's working perfectly as is, you know. So when the time comes where everyone says the game plays beautifully and perfectly enough, now we need more content, then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But right now, I think I wouldn't ask Alex to rush at all. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, but it feels. I said it feels. It's still fun to play. Like I said, I'm not getting tired of playing this. I feel like it flows well. And I mean, I said we're going to get there. We have lots of more depth, obviously, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm just one opinion on this thing, but I think it's really coming along. So.
I think you're right, man. I think the real fun is going to be had when we can finally give access to the art assets to the modders, and I think it's really going to be a lot of fun to see what people come up with. I mean, our last up game, Uprising, which was just a functional prototype at best, modders were breaking that sucker apart and making backyard wrestling games out of it, and everything. It was pretty crazy to see what they were able to do with just access to the files, you know.
Cool. All right. My last tap out of the evening, I think. But
sounds good, man. Well, thanks, everybody. Looks like we're going to call it a night here. I want to thank, obviously, Alex for chatting with us tonight, and Eric for doing the broadcast. It was awful nice to get the three of us finally together after the summer mayhem. And, yeah, the good news is, man, for the foreseeable future, we are going to be rocking again, and nothing but good news, hopefully, knock on wood, coming from us. That Spinning X is going to go.
Yeah,
but yeah, I hope everybody likes the tribute to the Aki's World Tour game with the spinning ring in the menu. That was totally intentional, man. Throwing some love to Aki, man. So good night, everybody. Thank you for the questions. It's an absolute pleasure and an honor to be here, having questions asked of us that we can answer. So thank you guys for your support, your unbelievable patience, and I hope to keep earning it, man, as we get this game going farther and farther, eh? What do you say, Eric?
Rock and roll, brother.
All right, you guys, we'll see you during the week on social media, newsletter coming out on Friday, and hopefully next week, roughly the same day, same time. Hope we'll have something new to broadcast for you then, too. Have a good night, y'all. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
See ya.